Hello, hello. It's me, Mz Aurora Styles, and I'm gonna do like a little like bio, um, so you know who I am. Um, I started doing drag around 2002 ish. Um, I've always had a love of glamour and old Hollywood, horror movies, cult movies, everything that's like campy and weird, the underbelly of society. So Miss Aurora definitely comes from a lot of those inspirations. Some of my favorite movies are like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, no surprise. Of course, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I mean, no one does it better than Elvira. She's got it all. She's got looks, she's got wit, she's got the best one liners, the best makeup and hair. She's got it all. When I was a little baby queen at about like 6 years old, I remember watching, it must have been some TV show back in the day along the lines of like People Are Talking or something. And they had Cassandra Peterson on that show. And they showed a little bit of her getting in makeup. And I fell in love with Elvira. And this was the early 80s. So like she was just kind of coming in. You just started seeing her all over the place around Halloween. And her TV show was not yet syndicated yet, but the icon, the visual was out there. She was on commercials, everything, and I was obsessed. Obsessed. My grandmother too. In fact, I think I was in first grade. My grandma drew me a picture of Elvira, and I brought it to school. And my teacher was not thrilled. So I got sent to the principal's office and got a phone call home. And to this day, my mom and I still joke about that. And when my grandmother was here, we still talked about it all the time. Grandma was totally supportive of all of this. And so I never really questioned my gender. I always have identified as um, male, and I still do. I don't like the word cis because it sounds like clinical and medical, so I never ever use that word. That, but this has always been costuming, and it was always natural for me to play feminine roles, even with kids, and it just came natural to me. Came natural. The look did not come natural, but like the where she comes from out here in the ether or something. I'm a good channel for her. Um, Later influences were, of course, Annie Lennox and Grace Jones and Susie Sue and oh my God, Susie Sue and Diamanda Galas, Eva O, Jatanda Moan, Dinah Cancer, all these like fabulous divas of like the death rock and the goth scenes, like just were like, that's my music. Those are my people. So Miss Aurora, I thought would be along those lines of like the like post punk and goth divas, and she's there. That's definitely in here, but she kind of took on a more 60s look and vibe on stage with like the bigger hair and the thick, well, I still do thick lashes and the heavy liner because I also love the Ronettes and the rock and roll from like the 60s and the 50s and also soul music from that era. It's just some of the best. So I drew a lot from the divas, like the cabaret divas, the lounge singers. That was a lot of inspiration. And back then there was a lot of Beyonce, and there's nothing wrong with Beyonce. I just was never a pop diva, and I wanted to do something a little bit different when I was doing the stage shows, and so I kind of that was how I kind of rebelled against what was popular in drag culture at that time. And I still kind of do. Like, I don't think drag should be mainstream um, at all. I don't. Unpopular opinion, maybe. Like putting Mickey Mouse in drag. Why? 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 More coffee. Why? But anyway, enough of that. So I love drag, and I love the art of illusion and storytelling, and I think that's what drag is. So I really sought songs that told stories, and that's where I think a lot of the kind of numbers that I did came from. Also, they were like exorcisms. They were ways for me to work out what was kind of like eating at me, or things that I needed to like let go of. Music is a fantastic catalyst for the emotions, as we all know. But now she's kind of coming in a little more art nouveau, a little more kind of 30s, a little more glam. Um, from that era, she's always been glam, and I kind of like it. And so this is a new Miss Aurora, and I'm hoping that you all are resonating with her because she's resonating with you. And that's incense smoke, by the way. It's not spirits of my dead lovers. Um, yeah, so that's just a little bit about Miss Aurora. Drag is storytelling. We're the storytellers. Drag, we were those who carried our community through the dark times of the 80s and the 90s of the AIDS epidemic. We shined and brought light to those who needed light in those times. Don't forget that. Drag queens and also lesbians are the unsung heroes of the AIDS epidemic. The lesbians were not afraid to be in the hospitals with us when we were dying. The drag queens were raising money for charities when our government was doing nothing to support us. We were bringing light in very dark times. That's important to know. Very important to know. Drag queens do a lot more than just lip sync. We do. If you want more of like drag culture and history, I can go on and on and on and on about that. Um, Most importantly, how I got into shows. I was underage when I started, and this person the incomparable Miss Gina Ladavina was my drag mother. And unfortunately, she passed away in June. She was incredible. She was truly a force to be reckoned with in many, many ways. In many ways, she was. No one was more glamorous than her. No one can manifest faster than her. It was unbelievable. And she took me under her wings, was extremely patient, taught me how to paint, taught me how to perform, taught me how to sell a number, taught me how to, tried teaching me how to do hair. That didn't work out very well. This is about all I can do. Um, but man, she was amazing. She really was. Vicky Marlene was another one of my mentors, and Miss Vicky started out in show business in the 50s, and There's a documentary on her called Forever's Gonna Start Tonight. I hope you could find it. I hope it's out there. Check it out. If you want more stories like this, I'm happy to tell them. Just let me know. So that's just a little bit about me. And I'm going to finish my coffee and I will see you all soon. Ta ta.